Hey everyone, it's Orange. I think I have my TOA hard auto team pretty well sorted out, so I wanted to show you guys the runes and discuss some things about it. First, let me tell you where I'm drawing the line, because I know people draw it in different places. It's not really a black or white sort of thing when we're asking someone, can you or can you not auto TOA hard? This is the first month where I would draw the line and say, yeah, I auto TOA hard, so let me tell you where that is. There's two parts to it. First, I only had to manual 6 floors out of 100, so it wasn't a full auto. The 6 floors that I had to manual were 70, 80, 90, 96, only the final wave, 99, and 100. And the second part is how many fails I had on the floors that I did auto. It was quite a few fails. If I had to estimate or give you a number, I think it's about 30 to 40. I tried to keep a tally, but I most certainly left out some fails here or there just because lazy, human. All of the floors will be listed down below with how many times I failed each floor. When I did fail, I would substitute Mav in sometimes. He would find his way on the team, depending on what my team failed at. So my team this time around, for clearing TOA hard, was the team you're seeing on screen, plus Mav, and then I also had to bust out, I don't know, whatever I used for 100, I'll link it down below. I think it was like 2 more monsters, and then I kind of got fun, not really fun, but for my tutorial videos for 70, 80, and 90, I used a farmable team to do those, so I also used those monsters, but those were not necessary. I could have done it with Beretta, Aria, Vero, Bella, Mav, or even Chasoon instead of Bella. That team that I just listed, Beretta, Vero, Bella, Aria, Mav, was my absolute favorite team, my ride or die team that I used when I was first manualing TOA hard, so I definitely would have used that for those boss floors if I hadn't done the farmable teams for you guys. So I think that clears up all of that. A quick little backstory. I first started clearing TOA hard 6 months ago. My first clears were, I had it a lot easier than most people because I think on my first couple clears, my first one for sure, I think I used 11 or 12 monsters. I had absolutely everything you could ask for. You guys are about to get some salt overload. Your sodium levels will have to be checked at the hospital. You'll have to do whatever they do there to fix you. So my first clear, I used my ride or die team, Beretta, Aria, Vero, Bella, Mav for most floors. I may have used Spectre in there, but I don't think. So here are the other monsters that really helped me out. Chasoon, Brie, Thrain, Hua, Verd, and I think that was it. So yeah, I had a lot of things to choose from when I first started clearing TOA hard on manual. And then for Lyrith, the next time around, I used Sig. He's always my favorite. For Lyrith, he worked out really well there. And yeah, then 6 months later, we're finally here. It's been a while. From last month to this month, I had some kind of, or not last month to this month, but I guess the main improvements that I made to my team to get it where it is are getting my Despair monsters on Revenge sets. Having Aria on Revenge was super necessary and I think extremely helpful because she can Revenge and sleep something or stun it, and if she sleeps it, she gains 50% of her attack bar on that Revenge set. Brienne's on Revenge for the Despair stuns. I think that was really important. Last month I had Mav on my team, like he was one of my core members. This month my team did a lot better without him. Alright, what I think happened there was that my current team can generate more stuns than Mav can. I think the team with Mav on it, Mav just can't generate enough stuns, and I think my team does so well because of the stuns. Some people out there, I know people use so many different teams to auto TOA hard, and I think some people might be kind of doing more of like a sustain team with the battle mammoths and stuff, but you can see my team. I have Aria with the slow, the glancing. I have 3 Despair Stunners. Wait, do I? Yeah, 3 Despair Stunners and Vero. So I think my team is kind of less on the sustainy side, more on the stun side, and then I do have some of those fail-safes. I have so much stuff on my team. Brienne with the attack debuff, it's good, right? So I think that's what was happening with Mav, but like I said, he did find his way. I didn't write down on how many floors I used him, but I know he was used on a lot of these floors instead of my Vero and Aria. I don't remember who I put him in for. It may have been either. Yeah, so that's that. As I'm going through these monsters, I will talk about a lot of things and stuff, so let's go ahead and get into the first one. I'm going to go in res order, so I am using Brie and I do have a res order. The leader monster gets resed first if multiple monsters are dead. With the AI, that's what the AI does, and then we'll move on from there. So Beretta, it was my leader this time around. Let's talk about that leader skill real quick. Next month, I think I will put Vero in the leader slot because for my team specifically, I think both influence my team about the same. Leader skills are calculated by base stats, so Beretta's leader skill is 19% speed, which means that all of my monsters are only getting about 19 bonus speed. So that's leader skills. Vero's doing the same exact thing. He's going to be giving each of my monsters only about 3,000 to 4,000 more HP. Beretta right here has a base HP of 11,205, which means that Vero's leader skill is 33% bonus HP, which means he's getting, what, like 3,000, a little bit more than 3,000 bonus HP, so it's really not that much, right? Here's one important thing though. If you're using Mav or Bernard or another speed buffer on your team, I think it's important. I think Beretta would be the clear winner for a leader for you because that speed buff is calculated that whatever that speed buff is, I don't quite know what the speed buff is. It's like 30% or 33%. You guys can look it up. I think people were kind of arguing about it or they still don't know. I don't know what it is. So that speed buff is calculated it applies to everything. So if my Beretta was leader, he has base 105 plus 112 from runes plus the 15% times 105, which is my speed totem. I forgot to mention that, my Glory Tower speed totem, plus 19% times 105, so he gets that number, and then you do like 30% or 33%, whatever the speed buff is on all that stuff. So that's why I think Beretta would be the clear leader, or clear choice as your leader if you're using a speed buff. So that's what I have to say about that. The reason, I don't know if I said this, but I think I want to do Vero in the leader slot because like I said earlier, I think my team heavily relies on stuns more. And Vero is the #1 stunner on my team because he's on Violent, so I think it would be much wiser if I had him for res priority over Beretta, because if we really think about it, there are only like a couple floors where you really need your dots out as soon as possible, and those floors are the level 99 this time around, which was Verd, Leo, Spectra, yeah, that one, the Ragdoll floor. Even for those of you who are manualing TOA hard, for most boss floors, when I was doing them manual, well, I still manual them, but when I was first starting out in TOA hard, I really needed to kill the ads first before the boss, so I would need my dots out as soon as possible. So Beretta in the leader slot for my team I don't think makes much sense because I need stuns more, and the dots, like I said, they only really apply on some levels for auto, so I think Vero might be better for me, so that's what I'm going to try next month. And then I think that's about all I had to say about him, so let's go ahead and continue on with the runes and the skill ups. Wait, did I already show you guys those? I don't know. We'll do it again, and I'll cut it out if I didn't. So he's just a standard despair stunner, pretty as cookie cutter as you can get. 45% accuracy to be capped for TOA hard and normal. And I would like to, improvements that I could make to his runes, definitely get a new slot 6 because we'll see his slot 6 is really not that impressive right there. And putting him on a better offset, focus really isn't doing much because you really don't need that high accuracy, only 45% for TOA hard, so I don't need a focus set. Revenge would be better. Maybe even one of these crafted sets, that'd probably be pretty awesome on him, because I could definitely do that. I don't use him in PvP, so he'd be one of the best candidates for me, I think, for one of those crafted offsets. And then skill ups, I fully skilled him up. I think when I was doing TOA normal for the first time ever, I was on TOA normal floor 90. It was the Occult Girls, I think, is when I skilled him up. And I knew I'd be getting really good mileage out of him. I'm using him even now on my auto team, so no regrets there. No regrets. I Devilmond him. I did get some more Sylphs along the way, but I think it's so rare that you're gonna pull those, so I'm good with that. And I think the skill ups definitely help. The skill ups were a really big thing on a lot of my monsters to get my team to where it is. So that's Beretta. The second res order monster is Chisoon, and she's behind 2 other monsters for fast violent runes. She's behind Vero and Velajuel. They're on my AD, so I gave them better violent runes than her. And also, there was, oh yeah, so I have a Ritesh we can see right here. I use Ritesh a ton more than her. I don't really use her too much. So I'm okay with her being how she is and her being behind those other monsters. She's built for raids, so she doesn't have much accuracy, which is kind of whatever. She has a lot of resist, and then I think she's looking pretty good though. I'm always a little bit self-conscious about my Chisoon because I see all these other Chisoons with like ridiculous HP and stuff, and mine's not like that. She could, of course, be on a different set to help her out. I have her speed tune to move before my Theomars because sometimes I use her in PvP, rarely, but I do. And then I also have Velajuel speed tune to move before her to cleanse off because my Velajuel has will. So of course having a set on her would be better. Probably one of these sets would be the best. I'm trying to think what would be the best. Probably just any set, you know? Well, not any set, but it would help. So that's how she is now. I had to put her on that broken set to get her stats looking okay. I think she looks pretty good though. The next monster in the res order is Vero. And here he is, like I said, he's on my AD, so I think he has #1 priority for my best runes. I use him so much. So, yeah. I got his accuracy pretty high for PvP to land his stomps and his dots. So it was mainly just for like Guild Wars, that's really only where I use him now. And yeah, he's just a standard Vero pretty much. Let's go over his runes. Of course, having will does not help him at all in TOA hard autoing because will only applies to first turn and my team is taking a lot of turns, right? So having a different set would definitely help and be an improvement for me. I also Devilmonned him a while ago. I recently not recently, but I did Devilmon Chisoon months ago. I don't know. I don't remember when it was. Vero, I Devilmonned him pretty much when I first got him, after I fused him, because everyone was saying that it's important to skill him up, so I did that as soon as I fused him, I think. Pretty sure it was as soon as I fused him. The next monster in the res order on my team is Aria, aka Boobies. I'm pretty sure if I was Aria, I'd want some more support because she's looking pretty loose, but whatever floats your boat. Okay, so Aria, once again, pretty standard, accuracy capped for TOA hard. She's right behind my Beretta for my best support despair runes, and by support despair runes, you guys probably know what I mean, but I mean those despair runes with speed, HP, defense, enough accuracy for whatever you're doing, and that sort of thing. Putting her on revenge, like I said earlier, I think was a huge thing that I needed to do to make her good in TOA hard. Tyron, just something small. Tyron's also on those kind of support runes, but he's behind these two because I don't use him that much. Not anymore because I'm working on getting, well, I do have a new AO. I'm using Devolution, and my Tyron AO, I used to use it with Lagmaron, Galley, and Bernard. That gets stopped by will runes, so I don't use him anymore. So he's behind them, of course, for despair runes. Let's talk about her skill ups. So currently, I'm in the position where I don't want to skill her up anymore because I have other Devilmon priorities over her. So I think in my position, I probably ended up in a pretty good position, not perfect, but what I mean by that is we can see my skill ups. I have the third fully skilled up. I think I got lucky with not skilling up the second one because you guys know how with some monsters you don't want certain skills to be skilled up if you're using them with AI, like Verd or Orion on defense. If you get certain skills like this skilled up, For one, they have it off cooldown more, so they can possibly use it if there is that random factor of AI RNG for them to like use whatever. I've heard about that. So it's off cooldown more, and then the AI might even be programmed for her to use it more, when in reality, I would like her to be using Curse of the White Knight. So that could possibly cause some fails, her using this bullshit when she should be using Curse of the White Knight on AI, of course. Not having Dreamy Invitation skill ups definitely hurts me, so I'm not sure if I could skill her up. I might be better off having everything skilled up because it is a huge risk. Am I really going to get that lucky to skill up all of these Dreamy Invitations before Strike of Rejection? Probably not. It's hard for me to say if I could fully skill her up, would she be better than she is now? I don't know. I think there's too many variables with RNG and stuff like that. So that's Aria. I think I covered everything with her. Let's move on to Brie, and then I can't forget Mav because he did make it on the team sometimes. Here's my Brie. He does have quite a bit of room for improvement, like getting accuracy capped would be one thing because having his attack debuff on the enemies is really important. I think he's looking pretty good though, I just have him really beefy, and that's pretty much it. I also tried to get some speed on him on free rune removal. I don't know if I'm going to look at doing anything to him this free rune removal coming up in, I don't know, like a week or something. It's a lot of work. I already have some other stuff planned, so I don't know if I'm going to do anything to him. Once again, having him on the Revenge set I think was really helpful to get more Despair stuns, but these other sets he might be better off on them. I don't really know. It's kind of hard to say, because you may need other monsters on those sets to kind of stack it. I don't know. Also, some small things that I could do is power up some of these runes. I don't want to power these up though, because that one's really bad. Of course, continuing to farm and get upgrades for those. I skilled him up, I don't know when. I got really lucky and the Revive got skilled up first, but I decided to continue double moning him to get the Deadly Wave skilled up because I was planning on trying to get my team working better for autoing TOA hard, and I think the Deadly Wave definitely helps, so those are Brienne's skill ups. And then let's talk about Mav here. So Mav, he got worse. I don't know, he has really low HP, I'm embarrassed. His defense is kind of high though, so of course accuracy capped for TOA hard at 45%, and then I just made him, Mav. For Mav, speed tuning is important. I didn't talk about this, but I can talk about this now. So earlier I was telling you guys how my favorite ride or die team for TOA hard manualing is Beretta, Vero, Bella, Mav, Aria, and you do need to speed tune that. I think it's important that your two Despair Stunners, in my case I have Beretta and Aria, I think it's important that they move before Vero if possible. I like having Mav move last. It just works out so well. Usually everything gets stunned first turn and slowed. Everything's stunned. Maybe one monster's left up. Mav can taunt that. And then next turn he uses Wings of Wind. Him being slow has just worked out so well for me. I know other people do argue for making him the fastest monster or whatever. You can do whatever, but he works out well slow. The rune requirements to rune him up are like the lowest ever, so build him. He's amazing, and he's really not that hard to build. So he can be like last in line for violent runes, because he'll take all the violent runes without speed on them. Any violent rune with HP defense, and then anything else he'll take. So about the other two Despair Stunners moving before Vero, I think it's important that they do that so that you can possibly hold on to your Stomp if possible. That way, if everything gets stunned, you can use your Vero to dot things to kill them faster. And then you can save your Stomp till when you need it. Also, another big thing for some of these levels that I had to manual, like 99 with the Verd and Leos, I think I kind of messed that Verd, Leo, and not the Leos. Leo, the two Verds, and the two Spectras. I think I kind of messed that up a little bit because I didn't stagger out my stuns. They have the Leo there, so the enemies are going to be moving a lot. The debuffs aren't going to stick on them because they have the same speed as you. So I think I definitely should have staggered those out. Like, dotted for sure, you need the dots out on that floor because you need to kill them as soon as possible. And then I should have done Aria's Glancing, and then I could have held on to Vero's Stomp. Maybe it would have been safe to let some of them move, because I'm sure some should have been stunned by then. Maybe it would have been safe to let some move, and then you know, next turn they're not stunned anymore. Then to stomp on them and put my Brienne's attack debuff on them, if he can land it, because all those are fire except the Leo. So that's that. Like I said, I like Mav last, so here he is. Pretty standard, just beefy. I try to give him speed, so I always try to give these monsters a lot of monsters. Like when I first got my Aria, when I was first using Aria, when I was first using Mav, when I was first using Shannon in TOA normal and TOA hard, when I rune them, I would rune them like HP, defense, HP, or just any combination of that. So like, you know, defense, HP. I would always try to put 2 HPs in there and 1 defense on the 2, 4, 6, because they worked out well, like as a starter rune set with that sort of thing going on. And then over time, Mav is still on that, which is fine, because he works, right? Over time, I do try to push that speed a little bit, but I always try to get them to survive first. So that's Mav, and then let me see if there's anything else. That's all I had to go over for the team. Well, not all, but let me see if there's anything else I have on my list to talk about this team. So I already went over what I changed this month and what I would possibly change next month. I have some runes in here that could be plus 15. I just really don't want to power up these runes when they're so bad. So farming runes, getting upgrades would be good. What else can I do? When I eventually start farming raids, grindstoning and gemming these, if possible. I don't know if they're going to be my first priority. Probably not. My other priorities might be something else. It also depends how my TOA hard auto team is doing by the time I start farming raids, but grindstone and gems would be an improvement for a lot of these monsters. Also, the crafted rune sets, I already talked about that. Those would probably help. Possibly getting a water homunculus. I could build one for TOA hard, and he may help out. Most definitely, he would help out the team more. I would probably put him in place of Vero, because I don't think you'd really need Vero when you have that much CC coming out of the water homunculus. And I think you want Aria in there for the slow. So I think that's about it. I'm so worried that I'm missing something, and I'm gonna rewatch the video and be like, oh my god, I left out that really big thing. But I don't think so. I think I covered everything. I hope you guys enjoyed my showcase video. Once again, check down below. I'm going to have my runes and the levels that I failed on down there. I'll try to include as much information as possible down there. Hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to let me know about your teams. If you're using more of a sustain team with like Basalt or something, that'd be awesome to hear about. So that's kind of where I am with my team right now. Hopefully next month it goes better with Vero in the later slot, mainly for the res order, because I think he generates more stuns, which is what my team wants. I've told you guys that like 5 times. Okay, so hope you guys enjoyed the team showcase. Mav will salute you out, I guess. So hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you guys later.